Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
I almost feel like I stopped in time at 30. I'm Grace, I am 31, I am a senior pricing manager at Aviva, I've got 3 cats, and I love to read and bake and go to the theatre, and since October 2024 I have been living with stage 4 breast cancer. So stage 4 breast cancer means that it's incurable. It means I'm on treatment for life, and at some point the cancer will come back or keep growing and will eventually become terminal. So we're off to have my treatment. So I get it on the treatment bus, which is super close to my house, so I don't have to go to the hospital. And they'll do bloods, and then I have an injection called Phesgo, which is into my thigh. It's a bit gnarly because it's 10 mils of liquid, so it takes them about 5 minutes to inject it, and it hurts like a bitch. But then it's done, and I get to go away for 3 more weeks before I have to have it done again. And there is the bus. It's like a teeny tiny sting, but nothing major.
Grace could have another drug called Inertu, and it's causing quite a stir. The trouble is, it costs over £100,000 per patient, and with 40,000 patients a year, NICE, the National Institute for Health and Care Excellence, doesn't want the cost. Their updated system, the severity modifier, changes how conditions are funded. Terminal cancers are now rated moderately severe, which reduces access to treatment.
Unless you live with it and you know how much it affects your day-to-day life and how much it takes away from you, I suppose you can't really understand how offensive it is for it to be called moderate. For HER2 negative breast cancer, and HER2 isn't approved on the NHS, which is really scary.
Grace currently has HER2 positive breast cancer, but her HER2 status can change at any point.
And it's not just this one drug, it's kind of what that represents for future drugs that become available. And then that will slowly get bigger and paler over the next few hours. So I found Laura's account on Instagram, and it just really helps to have someone understand what I'm going through.
Hi, I'm Laura, and I live with secondary breast cancer. I also spend my life talking about my story online, so you could call me an influencer, but I also share a lot more than just cancer, so come and follow. So I began making videos when I realised that actually there was quite a lot to be learned about secondary cancer and just about living with it, and sort of lots of misconceptions, and people just tended to want to know a bit more information, and whether that's following me for a bit of day out at the hospital or whether that's, you know, learning how to check your breasts.
Laura has lived with breast cancer for almost 10 years, and to help others going through the same thing, she set up a support group called Secondary Sisters.
So feedback has been incredible. It's been one of those situations where, you know, I've had people come to me who have come to one of our events and said, because of that event, they've found their family, they've found their tribe. Sometimes there is that scary side of joining a community, because you know if you make friends with those people, you might go on to lose them. But equally, I have found so much joy and love and support through knowing these people, that if you were someone that was newly diagnosed, it is far more beneficial to find that community and find that group.
This month, Laura's group are meeting up at a chocolate factory.
Oh, brownie pieces, yes. What have you got over there then? Is that not brownie? It's raisin. I don't know what I'd do without the group sometimes, quite honestly. I love being around these ladies. We have a lovely time, and it's not all about cancer. We don't talk about cancer all the time. We do a bit of everything. Some of us like crafts more than others.
You love crafts, Jo,
No, I don't. I don't mind this, actually. Could somebody pass me the coconut, please?
Mine's drying so quickly.
So we actually get HER2 because we're HER2 positive, so some of us, which then we were saying, weren't we, actually feel guilty about
So people, we could be sat next to someone who won't be able to allow to have it.
Yeah. No.
Really?
No.
So then we feel like guilty that we would
Because
get it.
yeah.
And you wouldn't.
Get it and pass it to me.
If an HER2 was approved, it could offer someone an extra 6 months.
You know, 6 months in our scheme of life is huge because all we want is an extra couple of weeks to get the potential of another drug or something else.
I'm HER2 low, yeah. It's another option gone, isn't it? And then when you see other people can get it and you can't, it seems very unfair. So yeah, it's very disappointing. And you think, well, if they say it's because of the funding and the money, and you're like, well, do I not matter then? I just wish things would be done quicker. When you hear of those new groundbreaking things and you think, speed it up, get it out quicker. It always takes so long. That's what we don't have the time to wait for it.
Everybody say chocolate!
Chocolate!
In the cancer world, death is close to every friend you make, which has left Grace struggling to join any support group.
When I first got diagnosed, I kind of met a group of women that all had secondary breast cancer. Jan was doing all right. We were all doing all right, all having sort of stable scans. And I saw them for Catherine's funeral in February, and we were talking about like getting together in March, having coffee and stuff. Kind of gave them a hug goodbye and said I'd see them soon. And then a few weeks ago, I got a text from Chrissy saying that Jan had like really suddenly passed away. She went into hospital because she wasn't feeling well, and then it was just like a couple of days. So it was just really sudden. Like, we thought her treatment was working. We'd been talking about, she'd bought like Christmas decorations for next year and was joking about, was she tempting fate? And we were all like, no, like, you're fine, you're stable. And then yeah, it just kind of came out of the blue, really. So I didn't get to say goodbye to her. It's just a weird world, the cancer world, because you know you're going to lose people, but I don't think you ever get used to it. We have quite openly talked about death. Me less so than them, because I refuse to accept that that's going to happen to me. The hope that there's stuff out there is what keeps me going. When I got diagnosed, I didn't ask for a prognosis because I genuinely don't think that they know, because there's so much research being done. And something could come along in a week that gives me a normal lifespan.
At the Quadram Institute, they're currently working on a new breast cancer treatment in pill form, led by researcher Stephen Robinson.
The human study that we're trying to do is we're trying to see if there's any changes in the bacteria that are present in the gut that happen as a breast cancer patient goes through the first year of their treatment. If it works the way we think it works, right, it really does retrain the immune system to function better. It could be used in any woman who's being treated for breast cancer, including all subtypes. It takes a long time to get any drug into, right? And we're still at the very preclinical stages. So we're probably 15-ish years away before we can get something right.
Grace doesn't have 15 years. To see what can be done now, we're off to speak to Grace's local MP to see how he can help.
There's so many different moving parts, and I think what's really important is with NICE, when they're actually investigating these different treatments and care pathways and everything like that, we don't just get hung up on the pounds and pence. We've got to remember behind every single person that is looking for these treatments is a person, is a family, is a son, a daughter, a mother, a father, And if we lose sight of that, we lose sight of what the NHS was actually set up for.
Yeah, I think that's what hits hard for me is, and HER2 is something I can access now, which is great, but there's always that fear that it would be taken away. But I suppose it's the severity modifier, being told that I'm 31, I have stage 4 cancer, the life expectancy of that is 5 years, and 1 year down the line. I'd like a bit more than 4 years, and to think that that's only considered, moderate, that I might die in my 30s and my parents will have to go through that, and that there are drugs being tested across the world that could lengthen my life, I want to be able to access them. And in her, she feels like it's the first, there's kind of the spark to set off this debate, because it's such a good drug and it's such a big one, and so many women are being denied it.
The cancer 10-year strategy, it's been too much in the waiting. It has been too much in the wait. We've been waiting around for the actual in-depth analysis of what we can do for different cancers for too long. Yeah, let's call this day one. This is day one of many days where we can just keep pushing ahead, and I just want you both to really keep in touch and we can see how we can do this.
I wanted to understand the other side of the story, so I contacted NICE that said they left much flexibility for AstraZeneca to offer a fair price for Enhertu. But with little movement, they were left with no choice except to not recommend the drug for the NHS. In response, AstraZeneca said they were unable to discuss commercial arrangements. It's been a few months since Grace's MP took the issue to Parliament, and I'm with her again to give her the government's response. So I have a letter here from the Under-Secretary of Health from what we said to Ben Goldsborough.
I feel like this is not very helpful. It's just stating what we already said we knew when we talked to Ben, and I feel like it's really impersonal and a little condescending, to be honest. Yeah, the line, every pound we spend on new medicines is a pound that is not available for other vital services. I feel like saving people's lives is a vital service.
So what do you think the government needs to do now after this?
They need to increase the severity modifier for people with stage 4 cancer, and they need to start spending their money on treatments and on medication for us, to know that the medication exists in the world and other people have access to it when we don't. You know, I can talk to somebody from across the world that's on medications that I can't get access to here, when we are supposed to be an advanced country, is in all honesty a joke.
The issue may not be solved for now, but to cheer her up, Grace's friend and new baby have come round with a surprise.
So that's one of the things I was really excited to say to Grace, like, could we use your name as the middle name? It's been a really difficult time since the diagnosis and everything Grace has gone through, and it just felt really important that to have, her Auntie Grace, that's going to be her middle name, that's always going to be a part of her. So that's why we wanted it.
Yeah, I cried when Belinda told me that her middle name was going to be Grace. It meant a lot. And she's definitely motivation. Like, obviously I want to see her grow up and be Auntie Grace for as long as possible.
With newfound hope, Grace is off to meet Laura at a Secondary Sisters event.
Yeah, I really enjoy doing them. I find them very relaxing.
Oh yeah, I feel so zen at the moment.
Yeah.
It is nice, isn't it? And even yesterday, my husband said to me, we were talking about this operation coming up, and he even said to me at that point, well, why don't you think about having your ovaries out at the same time? And I even then went, it's too permanent.
Yeah,
I said, what happens if next year something comes along, which means the drug they give me, I could then have a family on. Or, I'm 38 now, I'm still not of an age where I'm ready to give up hope. Even though I know that is such a stupid thing to say, because it's never going to happen.
No, it's
but
not.
It's
But it might happen, you don't know. This is the thing.
Well, see, I don't go, oh, well, I might be here in 10 years. I'm saying I want to be here in another year to know that drug might get me another couple of years.
Yeah.
So you just have to be hopeful that, say, something else comes along. And in the years that I've had my diagnosis, I've seen quite a lot of change in the community, in the drugs that are available. Obviously we go through a lot of, sadly, medications that don't get approved, but ultimately there is more out there than there was a few years ago.
Yeah. I just want to keep living until I stop feeling
enjoying
well.
life.
And and I'd like to be feeling well for a long time.
They look like they're amazing. Oh, I love them. The advice I'd probably have would be, don't look too far ahead, focus on the present and try to find something that brings you joy that isn't cancer related.
Yeah, I miss having a day. I just want one day of blissful ignorance.
Yeah. I think people forget that we can never have that.
Yeah.
Because even if you have a day where
You've had a nice day and it's been lovely, it's still
but
there.
you've got your medication, or you've got a message from the NHS that goes, you've got an appointment coming up, and it's like, I know, just give me a break.
You still know exactly when your next scan is coming, and you know that you've only got that amount of time to relax a little bit
and travel. That's what I also say.
Yeah.
Make sure you travel. Like, don't put off life. And I think it's so easy to do so. It's so easy to be like, but I can't because X, Y, and Z. But it's like, no. If you're having a good day, why can't you?
So I'm currently on holiday in Madeira. We've been doing loads of sightseeing, walking around the old town, chilling out by the pool and in the spa, and drinking lots of wine and ponja, which is a local cocktail. So I'm having a lovely time.